Hi friends! On Saturday, Joe and I went to the Stewpins pin trading event, also known as the Stewpins Scottish Adventure, and I wanted to show you everything that we got. This is a collaboration of pins that we bought, pins that we traded, as well as a pin folio which I treated myself to and I want to show off. One thing I did want to note before we get into this, and just a very quick note to all of my new pin pals out there, I guess, is this event was truly so fun and so special. Joe and I drove away that day with such a big smile on our face because everybody was so sincerely friendly. I think we knew that going into it. We've watched many videos before of other people at trading events, and let's face it, we all have one thing in common, and that's to collect pins, trade pins, and just have a nice day out. It was so lovely. We ended up getting pins that we didn't expect. We wanted to collaborate with a lot of people and trade and just build these lovely little relationships so that when we go to future pin trading events we know some familiar faces. I will also say just a very quick shout out to Disney and Days Out, who very kindly took moments out of their day to chat to Joe and I, take a photo, which is my fangirl moment, shall I say, but also give us some really good tips and advice when it comes to collecting, trading, and even some tips with going to Disney, which was really nice. I think once the nerves had calmed down and once we had sort of settled into the event and took that pressure off ourselves to be anything other than ourselves, shall I say, we just had really good fun. If you haven't already seen my previous video that I uploaded yesterday, that was the vlog of the pin trading event. We did our absolute best to film. Joe was such a supportive cameraman and partner that day. He was constantly filming and saying to me like, hey, do you want to show them what you've just traded? We're not the best at filming the actual trade just yet, just because I feel like, I know it sounds really crazy, but it's a little bit of a high pressure moment. You're obviously doing a transaction, if you will, and I wanted to make sure that we were being kind of friendly and positive within that experience without shoving a camera in their face. If you are supporting this channel, if you are a friend, a pin trader, if you will, I would love it if you could subscribe, like, comment your favourite pins. Are you starting a collection? Do you already collect? And what's your favourite character that you like to collect? Because I'd love to know. I've been engaging with as many of you as possible, and to see this little baby channel grow has just warmed my heart up recently. So thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for all of those pin pals out there, whether I've met you in person or on here, that have just been so kind and so friendly. With that being said, let's get into the haul. So the first thing I wanted to give a quick shout out to was my new pin folio show. I bought this at the Stewpins section, table if you will. This was their event, so they had a really big nice corner section where they were selling pins, they were selling off their pin folios as well as trading pins for themselves. This was £35, but because I am a Stewpins member, I get 10% off. I was going to buy one anyway, let's be honest, so I was really glad to get a little bit of money off of it, but actually I thought £35 was quite reasonable. I decided to get it in it's like a minty blue and purple. Not my normal colourway, I'll be completely honest, but once I saw it on a couple of other people, I was like, it's actually really beautiful, and I'm really glad I got it. The kind of standout of this particular product is the window at the front. You can buy some pin folios where it's fully closed off like a book. I think those are really great for the bigger pin folio packs for when people have like a significant collection compared to this. This was really handy just to wear on my shoulder all day, and if we were making any trades, then I could just say to them like, all of our trades are just at the front. The pins on the inside were our collection. As the years build and as we collect more pins, obviously I think this will just become purely our trades, but it was perfect for the day and I am so glad that I treated myself to it. If you are not already on Stewpins but you are starting out your pin collection, I would highly suggest you go check them out. They are a pin seller. They are a pin collecting duo. It's Richard and Stuart. They are a fabulous couple. I absolutely love them. They run live sales on Facebook as well as Bing Ops. If you are a Stewpins club member, you can also get 10% off and you get free entries into the Bing Op as well as discounted pin convention tickets. So it's a really fabulous business. They are as far as I'm aware, and I could get this wrong, Stewpins, as far as I'm aware, are the only UK seller of Go Pin Pro / pin folios. This was told to us by some really trusted friends that we met at the convention. Similar to, from what I learned, the Pink a la Mode pins, which are a pin creator and distributor that kind of exclusively partnered with Disney, are only sold via Pinsane. I hope I've got that correct. See, this is what I mean. This is everything that I learned, all of these little like nuggets of knowledge about pin trading and collecting. They were fed to us very kindly throughout the whole day, and Joe and I were sat there like soaking it all in, like, okay, we must remember that because it's really good to know. But yes, I can definitely say that Stewpins, they're the only people that sell pin folios in the UK, so if you want one, please head to their website. I will pop it up on the screen above me so you can go check them out and maybe treat yourself to a couple of bits. Right, I think on that note, grab yourself a hot drink. I've got myself a coffee, thinking that this could be quite a nice long haul. I will say now, Joe and I did like a little count at the end of our day of everything that we got, and we came home with 60 pins. So yeah, you could argue that maybe we got a little bit carried away. It was our first pin convention, what can you say? It was honestly the best day, and we were like, yes, just give me everything. So I honestly can't remember half of what we traded to what we bought. I can't remember, sorry. However, what I'll do first of all is show you the pins that we have left in our trading collection. Some of these are ones that we went with originally and they just weren't traded that day. Some of them were on the day and we are happy to add them to our trading collection. So we have this Mickey and Minnie Only For You. I got this little Jasmine in a box that was, I believe she was maybe £4. Brian, hi. He had a £4 box, a £5, £6 and a £7 box, and it was basically a free-for-all, grab what you can, pay afterwards. So I grabbed Jasmine just because I thought somebody out there will want a Jasmine. I've also grabbed, this is an Aladdin pin. We have Gwen from Into and Across the Spider-Verse. We've got a couple of Mickeys here. 3 Mickeys, should I say. These were actually in a set of 5 that we bought all together, but I've kept 2 of them that I really loved. I'll show you them afterwards. So we've got like a sporting Mickey here. I think he was from the Inspirations line in 2009, I think. We've got another Mickey here, and of course this final one down here. And then we also have this little hidden Mickey, just kind of a tiny little Mickey pin there, which I love. We have Belle calling in this Belle little telephone. I believe she's also a hidden Mickey. I thought that would be quite popular, and on the day there really didn't seem to be many people collecting Beauty and the Beast or Belle, or certainly not from the interactions I had. But I have high hopes for her. I feel like that's a very unique little pin, and so somebody out there will want her. This was a pin that of course I went with. Again, I kind of went in thinking that's a really beautiful classic pin of Mickey and Pluto, but didn't catch anyone's eye that day. That's absolutely fine. And then finally we have this silver Mickey here. Just make sure it's in the shot. So those are the ones that we came back with. I think we were very like pleasantly humbled. I think sometimes when we were looking at certain people's collections we were like, you know, it's quite obvious what people are looking for at the minute. I'm going to show you the pins that are now for our collection. The rest of the pins are ones that we most likely want to keep, apart from the odd 2 which I'll say as we get to them. But this is some of the pins we collected that day. I just love how they're displayed in there. It makes it so easier, like a butler, to have them. Right, so this was, I think, our first trade as a couple. So as you know, Joe and I like to collect pins from the Monsters University family, I suppose, and this immediately caught our eye. So just for my hand for scale, I think it's the actual size of a card, if not slightly smaller. And this is of course Mike Wazowski's ID badge for the university. I am so sorry, I cannot remember the name of the young man who traded with us, but he was incredibly kind and so friendly. If you were at the convention, help me out. Sat by the main entrance with a really lovely group of people who were helping hand out the bingo slips. I believe from the conversations we engaged in, he was also relatively new to trading, and so it was an absolute pleasure to trade with him for this pin. And Joe and I walked away from that trade like, oh my god. We actually got a lot of compliments from this pin as well, so it was like, we've kind of felt super duper lucky to get a hold of it. So this is from 2023, and I think it's to celebrate 10 years of Monsters University, so we were so happy to get that. Generally speaking, a lot of the anniversary pins for films are often obviously quite special because it's celebrating the film and not just like the release of it. So yeah, really happy to get that. One pin that I think I bought this one was Tiana's Tiara. This was on my little list. I had a list of pins that I was looking out for specifically, so I was really happy to find that one. It's got a really nice kind of thickness and weight to it, so it feels quite posh. Then this was a collection that Joe and I kind of started and almost finished at the event. I'm not going to get them all out. I might just film some like B-roll close-ups. But we started this collection of Lilo and Stitch Polaroids. Now, we only have one more to find. We didn't end up finding it that day, but I'm sure it was out there. We were just so tired by the end of the day that we didn't think to finish it. But this was a collection made up of 3 trades. So Disney and Days Out traded us for one. We also found one from a wonderful family creator called, I think his Instagram is Loops and Donuts. Joe reminded me his name is George. He was so friendly. Hello George, hope you're doing well. He traded, I believe, a few with us, or maybe 1 or 2. And then we also met a lovely lady called Nicola there, who I believe we might have bought a couple off of her just because we didn't have any pins that she wanted to trade with us, but we were happy because she made a really good deal for us to buy a couple more. So we were so glad to kind of, start and almost finish a whole collection because we've had our eye on these for a little while, so whoop, whoop, little win. Then we found this pin to trade. This is a really beautiful little Walt Disney World book, and if I open it, I'm just going to remove that so it's easier to hold. It has, there you go, it's got the castle in there, of course. I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe that is Cinderella's castle, if it's Walt Disney World. So yeah, dead chuffed to get that one. I would love to know if I traded with you, if you can maybe comment what we traded for, because the day was so exciting and it was full of energy, and so like it was just so fun. But when we were on the drive home, we were both exhausted and my mind was just like, what did we even do today? Like, in a good way, it's kind of like a day at Disney where you're just so full of adrenaline all day that it kind of wipes you out. So I'm so sorry if I'm not giving you the credit that you are due. Right, moving on swiftly. This was a really beautiful Sleeping Beauty and Maleficent pin, which I absolutely love. I managed to collect a few really beautiful Sleeping Beauty Aurora pins, so really chuffed to now have that in my collection. Then we have a couple of little ones here. This was on a pin for pin board, so this is a really nice way if you're quite new to pin trading like Joe and I to get your pins without having the pressure of kind of a high stakes trade. So all you do is literally put a pin on the board in replacement of the one you're taking. So, ooh, can we see him? As you can see, it is of course Woody. I just had a close-up then, it didn't like it. We got it? There we go, you get the picture. And then I also found a little Raymond, which I think, again, was a really simple trade, but I'm so glad I finally got him to put on my Princess and the Frog notice board. Also, there's something really satisfying about the sound of the pins going in the pin folio boards. Just a little side note. To finish off this book, Joe got this one here. So this is one of our favourites from the day, as we said in our previous vlog. Beyond Amazing Spider-Man, absolutely loved that. I found this one here for my Princess and the Frog collection. So this is of course Tiana. I'm actually wearing, I didn't end up wearing this on the day. I went in my Spirit jersey, just because when I put on the outfit that I thought I was going to wear, it just didn't quite click in my head that day. So I went with my Spirit jersey, which was fab. Caught a lot of attention, a lot of people loved it, so it was a nice conversation starter. But I thought I would wear this today just to give it a little shout out because I love it. We have, oh, love this one. I think this was a trade or a purchase from Nicola. She had a beautiful collection of pins, and somebody actually told me to go and find her because she had some great Princess and the Frog pins. So I sort of stalked her down in the room and I was like, hi, I've been told to come see you. And she was like, oh, okay. Bless her, she was really, really busy, and I just kind of jumped on her to do a trade. So thank you. This is, oh, look at it in the light. I want to like move out of the way so you can see it. This is of course Prince Naveen, the beautiful Prince Naveen, with this beautiful pin of stained glass. I didn't actually know it was stained glass because against the board you can't really tell. When I picked it up I was like, oh wow, that's amazing. Then we also got this little Mickey Mouse pin. I think Joe bought this for £3, I think. Really cute. Anything that's just classic Mickey is absolutely great. As I mentioned before, that set of Mickey pins that we got from Brian's sale, I kept 2 of them because I just thought they were really cute and I wanted them. And we didn't have the full Inspirations Mickey Mouse set anyway, because I actually think there's about 3 more pins in that collection that we didn't get. So I was like, well, we might as well just break the set up anyway. So I kept these 2. So this is like a rainy day Mickey, and then this is Mickey, I'm assuming what he would wear if he attended the park as a guest, of course. So really chuffed to have them. I'm so glad. Like, if I had just walked away with this already, I would have been happy. Spoiler alert, we have 2 more bags to get through, so make sure you're sitting comfortably. This is just what the pin folio looks like when it's open. You've got this pin folio board underneath, similar, or well, exactly the same to our mini boards, just a big version. And yeah, I'm so glad I got this. The way we've divided these 2 bags up, just for a little bit of context, and the way I'm going to quick fire through this, I have a bag, Joe has a bag. It'll be very, very quick and simple. Right, we have 2 Disneyland and Walt Disney World pins. This was a pin that I won in the Bing Op, so I paid £10 and it's sort of like a lucky dip. Put your hand in, pull one out like they would on the live Bing Up on Facebook. This, I was told, is Cleo. I believe she's from Pinocchio. I don't know much about Pinocchio, I'll be so honest. I know the story, but I don't think I've ever seen the film, sorry. So this will be a great trade for me just because it's such a beautiful pin. It's 3D, it's a terrarium, and of course Cleo is in there. This was a trade we did at Dots Pins. Really lovely lady, by the way. I'm sure if you're part of the UK pin trading community, you will have met her, you're familiar with her. Her husband is often sat next to her. They're a lovely duo, and I traded this with her, so really happy to get that for my Mickey at the Parks collection. This was a pickup, so not a trade. I bought this one out of my own money a few weeks ago on the Stewpins website, and Stu just handed it to me on the day in my little envelope of goodies, so really happy to have that. If you've seen my updated pin collection, you will see that I had a Disneyland Hotel clock pin. This pretty much partners with it, those 2 go together, so I'm really glad to have finished that little section there. These were from, I'm going to call them Brian's bins. I believe these were £4 each or £5 each. This was actually Joe's idea to get them because of course one of them has Tiana on, which I wanted, and then about 5 minutes later he was like, do you just want to get the other one as well? So then you've got those 2 gorgeous pins. I do love the Disney princesses. I think once I've established a really good Tiana collection, I will be focusing maybe on another princess. There's loads to go, so it certainly won't be anytime soon. A really, really wonderful trader actually just gave this to me because I believe they had so many spare from the outlets at Disney World. So this is Tiana, and I believe based on some of the races you can do in America for Disney, like a 5k and a 10k, they often associate a princess with the race, and that's a little replica of the medal. The trader, I believe, was called TJ, so thank you so much for your kindness. Really happy with that one. This was a purchase from Stewpins. I bought this at the same time as my pin folio. I thought this was just stunning, and I kept saying all day I would love to start a collection with the fairies. So we've got Flora, Fauna and Merryweather, and as you can see, they are there, so I thought it was a perfect pin to get. This was also a purchase from a really fantastic couple. Again, I'm so sorry I don't know your name. I will try and put it on the screen, but this is a fabulous pin of all the cast from The Princess and the Frog. I've had this on my eBay wish list for a long time, so when I saw it I was like, oh. I actually think Joe pointed it out to me and he was like, there you go, you have to get it. This was also a pickup, so I bought this in the live sale. This was the only pin I personally bought in the Facebook live sale from Stewpins, and Stew very kindly handed it to me that day. I absolutely love it. So I've got Tiana and Lewis, of course. Then I have another pin. This one I think I also bought from the same couple that I got the other big Princess and the Frog pin from. So this is Tiana. It's from the Food and Wine Festival, which I think they host at Epcot. And so yeah, I absolutely love it. It says gumbo, and then it's the recipe. So it's tomatoes, shrimp and garlic. And I love it. It's a 3D pin, so it's got a little bit more to it. Really happy with that. And then finally, from my little bag, we have actually gone through that quite quickly. Oh, we've got this little Pixar Toy Story one. I actually think this is one Joe picked up, and I've just managed to put it in my bag. But yeah, all of the gang there, very similar to that one where you've got the whole cast. Really beautiful. Moving swiftly on to Joe's bag. Some of this is pins that we collect together, some of it is just the ones he wants, so I'll try and do my best. We started a little Toy Story collection while we were there, so Joe picked up this Jessie pin, really nice little dainty pin, and her legs swing about. That is intentional. I had to check on the day. At one point I picked it up and her legs looked completely distorted, and I was like, oh my god, we've only just got it and I've managed to break it straight away. We also picked up the Winnie the Pooh. Really gorgeous little pin there. I like the colour of the honey pot. Grabbed this Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse pin. That is fantastic. That is such a nice pin. I bought this one for him. It was £6, which is amazing. This was also from the same couple that I got the Princess and the Frog pin from. They got this one. This is from Dot's Pins as well. Nice Buzz and Woody, classic. Love it when the characters just look like them. That's my absolute favourite, so really glad. This was Joe's pin from the live sale. So this is Doctor Strange as a backpack, as you do. This is clearly going to be a part of a much bigger series, I imagine, where you can get lots of characters as backpacks. So this is a really great start. It was very inexpensive as well, so a good one just to get for the collection in general. We have Sleepy Time Stitch. Gorgeous little pin there. Anything with Stitch, I think, I personally love. I know he divides opinions as to how present he is at the parks. I completely respect that he is often there a lot, but I think his pins are great. And actually it's great when you're a new trader or a new collector like Joe and I, because he's very easily accessible. So it's a good collection to have because he's not super challenging to get a hold of, I guess. We then have the fantastic Fantasia Mickey. So you've got Pinocchio, Simba, and of course little Sebastian just there. Fantasia Mickey is such a fantastic aesthetic, I think. It might be, for me, the primary colours, or having like the red and blue together, I think looks so appealing. Joe had got this Avengers Campus. Joe's main collections at the minute, we kind of got asked it a lot, and I just said he loves Pixar, Cars, Avengers, so he did really good to find the pins that he did that day. We bought these two to finish off our characters on a broomstick collection. This was a collection that we started back in September when they were first releasing these pins for Halloween, and we just never got round to buying these two. So we have a pretty much full collection now of these ones. I think we could be missing maybe one character, but these are just great to have. They're good fun. And yeah, we're glad we got them. Final four, we've got this beautiful Toy Story pin here. Really like, I just love the colours. He's got Fillmore here. Final two pins we have one from Dots Pins. This is a cast refresh, I believe, of Rex. And then last but not least, we have Mickey Mouse. Whew. It was a fantastic day. I think, to kind of give you my final closing thoughts, the day itself was so fun. We did have a couple of interactions where we were, you know, we weren't in a position to trade, shall I say, just because the people we were trading with were obviously and rightfully so looking for very specific pins. So there was a couple of moments where Joe and I were like, oh God, we're not good enough to be here. We're not seasoned enough to trade. But that was kind of corrected so quickly because every single person that we spoke to that day was so friendly, happy to have a look at our collection. You know, some people traded, I think, just for the sake of trading. For some people, it's just nice to say, well, if you have that, I'll take that, and that's it. We obviously met Disney and Days Out, or should I say Tony and Ollie, that's their actual names, who were just a dream. They were exactly as I hoped they would be, and they were so friendly. We actually sat and had a chat with them for a while, and it was perfect. And we are very much looking for our next event. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate everybody who sticks around and watches these videos. It was a little bit crazy having some people approach me at the event itself and be like, oh, I watch your videos, I love them, and I was like, oh, no way. Like, I'm not used to it at all. So yeah, I can only say thank you so much. I think you guys are incredible. I have found my gang. I think I've found my people. I found my niche, and I love it. I'm so proud to be a part of this community, and it makes me so happy every single day to engage with everybody out there in the pin trading community. I will leave you here. I hope you have a fabulous day, and I will see you in the next video. Mwah!